I'm ready if you're ready. You're the brightest thing that I ever did see.
Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Confessional Magazine, part of Bravo Confessionals. And I'm Taylor, and I am here with the beautiful, wonderful Alexis Wilkins of Living Alexis and Alexis Wilkins Events.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Of course. Of course. So my whole thing with this magazine and getting out there is I want to share people's stories. There are so many amazing people in this world
Absolutely.
that like you don't hear about, and I want to spread everyone's joy. So I'm like, Christmas is coming up.
Exactly. Spread all the message. Love it.
So you're a business owner in your own right, and you are out of where? We're talking you from
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. I love the harbor. I love Fells Point.
Yes.
So
I love it here too. I was raised in Baltimore County in the suburbs area. I've lived in the city now for going on 5.5 years. Yeah. So.
Nice. I mean, it's a beautiful city that gets a really bad rap.
It does. And I mean, obviously it has its problems and its issues, but there's so many great things here and great people. And it is in a lot of ways like a small town vibe, even though it's a city. Like I literally, maybe that's just me, I'm very social, but like, it doesn't matter where I go. Like I always run into someone that I know. Hi, hello. Like it's just
it's almost like New York City. Like, so my sister lives in the city and she can walk out of her apartment onto the street and she's like, hey, Bob. Hey, Jim. Hey, Sally. How's it going? How's your daughter? You know, it's just, you create these communities within, and that's amazing.
Exactly.
So you started an event planning business, which is incredible. So tell me a little bit about that. Did you go to like school for event planning?
Nope, not at all. So
this makes it so much more exciting that you manifested this beautiful.
Alexis Wilkins Events is my company. I started, what is it now? 4 years ago.
Wow. 4 years ago.
Yes. So it kind of started from me wanting to work in like weddings and social events. I'll say, side note, my full-time job is also an event, more like corporate event sales, so like not really the fun parts of events, I like to say. So I was like, I really want to get into social events. So I literally just emailed every wedding planner in Baltimore on the knot.com and got like 2 responses. And out of those 2, I started working as a lead assistant with one of the album companies. And then did it for a few years, and then I never had a plan to really start my own. I was like, I like being assistant, like a side hustle type of thing. Like I'm good with that. And then one of my best friends was getting married, and he was like, "Oh, I need a planner." I was like, "Oh, I don't have one for you." He's like, "Oh, no, I want you to do it." And I was like, "Oh, but like I don't do like need it by myself." He's like, "But you could do it by yourself."
What a good friend.
And I was like, I mean, I could, yeah. So I like go online and like figure out like a contract and like how all these like things I never had to do as the assistant. It was supposed to be 50 people. I was like, oh, I could do 50 people. It wound up being 250 people, which I learned like to put a clause in your contract that says if you broke the wedding by 4, you owe me more money. But now I know. But it actually wound up being a great experience. So after I did the wedding, I came home that night, got on Instagram and started Alexis Wilkins Events. Like I was like, I should get like an Instagram, I guess.
Yeah.
So
that's how we all start.
Right. That's how it became official. And then one of my other good friends' sisters was getting married that same year. So I did her wedding. So that was like 4 years ago, or 3, and that was started 2. And the next year kind of went up to like 7. Then last year I had like 13 weddings.
Wow.
Unfortunately, this year, it's been crazy. So that interest taking a major hit. But I was still lucky to do 5 weddings this year. So I was still that was all since September. So
that's really that's actually like very impressive, because we've had like 84 years of quarantine, and you perform you put together.
Exactly. I know. And most planners that I know have had really everything's been canceled or postponed. So luckily I only had one cancellation, complete cancellation, and the rest moved to next year or moved around. But then as we were like kind of opening up ish, you know, in like the late summer, early fall before numbers started rising again. I did like a lot of like micro weddings, which I never really done before, which I actually loved. I really fell in love with the smaller, intimate gatherings. Like the first one I had, it was like literally this couple. They were both in the Navy. They were like 19 or 20, like very young. She said, "I've never been to a wedding before. I literally don't know like what." Like I'm like, "Oh, what for your boutonniere?" She's like, "You're what?" I'm like, "Okay, this is very basic." But like in like a 3-week time frame, I planned their wedding for their 17 people. Like found the venue and the flowers and the hair and the cake and like everything. So she was like, "I trust you with my life." Like her family was like my family. Like, I love them. They were such a cute couple.
That's amazing.
Like, I never would have done that probably if it wasn't for all that's going on. So
absolutely. That's what this whole year, I know. I mean, I get so sad when I think about the lives that we've lost.
Absolutely.
The complete mess that this has been. I get so sad. And like, I actually was at a very, very low point in my life just a couple months ago. And I was like, Taylor, like, wake up, look for the silver lining. There's good in every situation. This is a terrible, devastating time that America, the world is going through right now, but you just got to look for the silver lining. And that's why, like, I want to talk to people like you.
Exactly.
That, like,
I think like
particularly
this year, like we're all craving connection. Like we, you know, the same old people you might hang out with or do this, or you can go to happy hour with, like those things aren't happening anymore. So it's like, how can we connect and looking outside like our little bubbles and expanding like our reach, which is really, it's great for everyone, I think.
It's amazing. So tell me about your blog.
Yeah, so on the other side, I have a blog, Living Alexis. So that's a fashion and lifestyle blog. I started it 3 years ago. Yeah, November. I was in like a really like bad space and place. And I was like, I need an outlet. And people always like, do you have the greatest clothes? Like you should start a blog. So I'm just like, you know, I always say like, what a great time to share your life when you're going through really terrible stuff. Like, here it is, everyone. Like, obviously I wasn't getting into all what was happening when I first started. Just like, you know, it's more like fashion and plus size fashion and being confident in your body and your skin and helping inspire women to do that, which is so important. But then it kind of evolved over the past few years and then become like more lifestyle. Like I say, like literally living, like whatever I'm doing in my life or what's happening, I'm going through, I share. So every morning I do like a morning message, and that really came out of being home by myself during quarantine, like working from home and like not having anyone to talk to. So I just talk to my Instagram, like people. So like, good morning, friends. And, like I say, like whatever I'm thinking about this morning, whatever I'm going through, whatever happening that day. It's not always really exciting. It's the same thing. Like, here I am, here's my cat, getting my coffee, but it's our meeting. But people really love it. So like we kind of like come part of the Instagram and blog. And then like obviously like I love clothes, but again, this year's kind of different. Like I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now. Like I'm not as fashionable. Like it's more of a comfort than it's ever been before in my life. Like I, you know, then I wear makeup, but then I fell with like my own skin again, like just being like literally like my own skin and like what that looks like and just being more regular and not wearing heels.
I put on extra makeup because I was talking to you.
Oh my gosh. And I literally was like, let me put on some like Visine drops. My eyes are beat red from being tired and being sleepy all day. And like I use this like facial oil and I'm just like, that's it. And I'm like, okay, I look.
Well, you look beautiful.
I rose water spritz and here I am. I was like, I don't look as tired, so I'll take it.
No, you look beautiful. And I was like,
Thank you.
Getting my glass of wine and like trying to like put a lip on.
Oh my gosh.
I literally was like, gonna look at me and
so
be
I
like,
took the sweatshirt off and I was like, my hair will get messed up. So I left it.
It looks great.
Yeah, so that's kind of like where the blog came to be, and it's really grown and evolved over the past, 3 years.
Yeah. And do you do a podcast too then?
Yeah, so I'm dabbling in the podcast, trying to get into it more, sipping on self-love. I did an event last year, again, like in person, bring people together, kind of just like wanting to share like our self-love stories And
Amen.
like you said, everyone has their own stories and their own baggage they've gone through that kind of, help them love themselves more and less just different situations. So, finding a place to broadcast that. So it's been crazy. I've been able to focus as much as I would like to on that, but more coming soon for sure.
Hey, if you ever want to collaborate, I'm down
Absolutely.
to talk about some deep spots to high rises,
Yes, it's so important. And everyone has those stories, I think, but it's just like they don't always feel comfortable having a place to share them themselves. So I figure, like, why not provide them that platform to do that?
Absolutely. And there are so many people that need that platform right now. And people are going to look at, there are so many different pages or podcasts out there, but it doesn't matter how many there are because there's always someone for you.
Right.
There's always somebody that's just going to be like, I vibe with you. I feel you on like those like deeper levels that you're like, you're a human that I want to delve into. And
which is what I love about particularly like Instagram this year. Like I have so many like friends that I've never actually met before. Like we talk on a regular basis, probably more than my regular friends at this point. From like DMs and things. And I'm like, that's so crazy that we've never even been in the same place before. Or we spoke on the phone, but like you have this like banter and this trust with them just from online.
And it's real. It's almost like it's real. I mean, so my friend that I do the podcast with typically, Michelle, she's from New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey, but we lived in different towns. I didn't know about her at all. I met her in a Bravo Facebook group, Bravo TV Facebook group that, everybody's just shooting the shit about Bravo TV. And we just started like talking back and forth. And now it's almost 4 years later.
I love that.
Every time I go back to New Jersey to see my family, I see Michelle too. And it's real. It's like these people that you meet online, like there's something that like, I don't know, maybe it's because there's not that actual face-to-face contact, which is
strange, it kind of like, it takes that like, it's, even though it's people are like, it takes out the weirdness, even though it's weirder. Like my boyfriend is like, he's like, I don't understand. He's like, what friends are you talking about? I'm like, my Instagram friends,
my online friends,
online friends. Like I was like, oh, this is my best online friend. He's like, your best online friend. I'm like, yeah, like that seems regular to me. So,
well, tell him it is regular, okay?
I know he's like, I'm like, he has to start doing it. He's like, I don't understand. Like my friend, like, no, get some online friends. You need.
It's different.
It is.
You need them, and everybody needs them. Well, cheers. I got my mermaid cup.
Oh, I love it. I'm just regular old stemless red today, but
I got some I got a white wine spritzer in my glass.
Oh, I love that. That's like one of my like go-tos.
Yeah. So you said you like to watch Bravo too.
Absolutely, yes.
What's
I was
your
just
favorite?
in like the virtual audience on Top is Live a couple weeks ago. What was that?
Wait, you were?
Mm-hmm.
I was on last night.
Oh my God. Well, it's such a cool experience. Such a cool experience.
Yeah. Who was your like? I don't even know.
My guess, I was with Kim and Captain Lee, which was a experience, and I got to ask him a question, which was so cool.
You got to ask the question too?
Yes, I got to ask the question.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. That is so cool. Captain Lee's like the stud of the sea, right?
He is the stud of the sea. Like it was just like such a motley crew. I was like, this is such a weird pairing, but it was a great episode. And
it was Kim
hilarious.
Z.
Yep, Kim Z. Yep. So she's like there. Croy's trying to like fix her, like Zoom for her, and Captain Lee's is like, it was great. It was great.
Oh my gosh, yours was. Oh, I don't want to offend the guests that were on last night, but like,
I can't remember who I watched it last night.
Exactly, because it was after Don't Be Tardy.
Oh no, I didn't watch. I unfortunately did not watch it last night.
No, not a lot of people do watch Don't Be Tardy. So Watch What Happens Live was on after it, and it was Candice Bergen and Diane West, which like me saying those names to you, you're like,
right? No, I know Candice Bergen.
They sound familiar, right?
Yeah, I don't know Diane West. I don't think. Unless I see her face, probably.
Yeah, have you seen Practical Magic?
A long time ago.
Like, yeah, she's one of the witch sisters that like dances around the kitchen with Sandra Bullock and they get drunk.
Yeah,
like,
okay. I know Sandra Bullock is talking about it. Yeah.
And that's who it was. And it was so sweet, but it was literally like Andy was, you know, just chatting with his next door neighbor that was like 85 and didn't know if her mail had come in a week or not.
Right. Like it's a lot of things like you would not like that. They're not like up on pop culture. That's why I was like, obviously like I know Kim from Housewives. I don't watch Uncharted as much, but like I, know Kim from Soulstick, obviously. And then I watched all of that. So I was like, okay, like, I understand like what is they're talking about, what's going on. Like it was so great. It was like my Bravo bucket list. Check one of my checks.
That's so cool. Were you like in total shock when they asked you to?
Well, it was so crazy.
Question?
Yeah, like the whole thing was a shock to me because I literally had like manifested this. Like I talked about on my morning message Instagram stories about like how I really wanted to be on the virtual audience. And if anyone knew anyone I brought with you to help me like get on the virtual audience, like let me know. Sure enough, I get a DM from someone that I know who knew someone that I was like, here, apply. I was like, oh, okay. And then like, okay. I was like, oh my God, this is actually happening. So then like, and they were like, okay, for the question, we'll pick two people. And I was like, Alexis. I was like, I'm just like, this is the happiest moment of my life, which is a lot.
Were you nervous to watch yourself?
Oh my gosh, I was so nervous because I feel like I blacked out during the whole entire thing. I was like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was upset because there was like on my couch, it was like a jacket I had sitting there. I was like, everyone's gonna think I live in a dirty house. And no one's gonna see like who was paying attention to like the background of your little square. I was like, I don't know, like
all of my followers.
I'm like, because like I couldn't say anything about it. So I was like, everyone like go on this and watch it after the fact. And I was like, everyone think I'm so dirty. My mom was like, I couldn't hear you. I was like, Mom, it's because you can't hear. Everyone else heard you just fine. But yeah,
that's funny.
It was so fun. It was so cool.
Oh my gosh, I was so nervous to watch myself, and I didn't even get to ask the question. My husband walked in the room at like 10:30, like right as it's starting. I was like, leave. I need to. You
didn't want to watch it? Oh my God, I made my boyfriend watch it. It was like Monday Night Football. I was like, I'm sorry. We have to watch my TV debut.
Well, I told him he could come back, but I was like, I just don't know what to do with myself. Like I thought I was gonna throw up, even though like you're literally a little square. Right. And it was like, people started DMing me like, were you just on? I'm like, yep, that's me. Like, is that? Yep. Like, yep. Because I couldn't say anything until it was like time to like say it. So I'm just like, yeah, like turn to it, and I post on Instagram. Check it out.
So crazy. My coworkers like randomly texted me. I guess it was like they were repeat episodes like later on. I was like, I think I just saw you on Bravo. I was like, yeah, that was me.
Sure did. It was such a fun experience, though.
So
it really was.
So fun. I was like, cool. And I had to get to the actual clubhouse. I'm like, no, I'll really be able to die happy.
Oh yeah. Have you? What's your favorite Bravo show on right now?
Favorite right now, I would say is Potomac.
Love Potomac.
Love Potomac. I think also because I live in the area.
Yeah.
They go places I've been to. I've met several of them.
I was going to ask, have you ever run into any of them?
Yeah. The majority of them. I think the only ones I haven't run into is Karen. But everyone else. Oh, and Candace. But I've met Monique at most recently at a luncheon. Just like we were both there. And she was a guest. I was a guest. And actually it was so crazy. It was like the day after the fight had aired. And I had talked about it very long on my Instagram story.
Yeah.
Not knowing I was going to be at a lunch with her the next day. So I literally I'm parking my car. I'm like, no way. No way. That's her. And she's like beautiful, stunning, so tall, so thin, even just more beautiful. Stunning in person. And I was just like, so I don't want to be a weird fan, fangirl.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh hi, I'm Alexis. She's like, I'm Monique. I'm like, I know.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I was like, I know. I watch Potomac. I'm a big fan. She's just like, even after this episode, I was like, yeah, I'm still a fan.
You're like, even more so.
Even more so. Wish you after harder.
I didn't know which side of this you were on.
No, I'm on Monique's side. I'm Team Monique.
Okay.
Still Team Monique.
Okay. Team Monique over here too.
Yes. So I met Monique. I met Wendy before she was a housewife at like 2 different events in Baltimore.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like Giselle from for years ago, church, like her husband being a pastor. When I was younger, my friend was at the church show in that scene. Robin, I met randomly at a bar, like at like a thing in Baltimore. I walked in and she was there. I talked to her.
Yeah.
Actually, outside of her restaurant, when she had a restaurant, Oz in Alexandria, and what did I say? Did I say Robin? Yeah. Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah, that's all of them.
That's so cool. Just hanging out town.
Just being out and about. Like, yes, that's their real lives. They live here and I live here. So
yep. That's so funny. That's very cool.
Yeah, we'll take Potomac right now.
Sorry,
closely by, I love Salt Lake has been so good. Like, I think it's so good.
It's so good because it reminds me of like the beginning of Bravo.
Yes, exactly. It's very like, which again, we haven't had a new housewife. Like, so like they don't know what to expect. Like they're just being, they haven't been like jaded by people's opinions or like what's Twitter saying or like what the fans are like. They were just living their lives. So it's like, it harkens back to like first season, like Atlanta, like first season Beverly Hills. Like it's just like,
and also not for nothing, like maybe this sounds idiotic for me to say, but I didn't know what life in Salt Lake City was before the show.
I'm on like flights to Southwest. Like, I mean, flights to Salt Lake City. Like, I'm ready to go today. Like,
like why haven't I been?
Like next winter, I will be in Salt Lake City trying to hunt them down.
Okay, I can't ski anymore, but I'm down to get
never skied.
drunk
I
in a
can
hot
sit in
tub.
I can sit in a lounge or lodge all day. It looks fabulous.
And look at the snow.
Exactly. That's all I want to do anyway.
Well, I'll see you in Salt Lake City then.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're going. Well, Alexis, thank you so much for joining. Is there anything else like that you want to talk about or cover in your life when it comes to your work, your blog, being a Bravo fan, just chatting, your life, your story, anything?
I mean, I feel like we covered all the bases, but yeah, I just think it's just really important to just be authentic and just be confident in yourself and love yourself. And then I think when you do those things, everything else falls into place. So,
and so how can people find you, Alexis? You want to say that again?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at living_Alexis or at Alexis Wilkins Events.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I'll talk to you after this. And
yes,
I'm going to text you about Salt Lake tonight.
Yes, I'm ready. Packing my bags now.
Yes.
All right. Talk soon.
Thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
You're the brightest thing